only. Should I try this? I think this is a good run. Thank you, Dev. I would say that this run in AP1 maybe learn more about this game than Meta ever could. Well, I would change that. I would say that the two runs, if you want to learn a lot about Shura, would be doing sword only and then doing probably AP1 Demon Belt Charmus. Those would probably be the two. Because they make fights last a lot longer than... Yeah, for this run, all damage counts. However, you could just do this no hit, then it doesn't matter. I'm just doing a no hit, no damage. No sugar, yep. I'm surprised you didn't do the normal start. This is the weirdest ogre I've ever had. Okay. I've never had that before, that was weird. Yep. The only item that you're allowed to use, at least for team hitless rules, is the idol. Also, Dev, interesting question then. In Screen Monkeys, are you allowed to use the fucking Hall Bell or whatever that shit's called to reset the fight? No? Oh. Okay, that's something I need to learn then, because I don't know. Okay, thank you, because I did not know that.
Treating schizophrenia without a daily pill may seem impossible. But what if there was a path?
Well, this is what the Sekiro players decided on.
It's time for Invega.
Only the other category is sword damage only, which has different
long-acting
rules.
injection that helps continuously control schizophrenia symptoms for up to 6 months with 1 dose. Before starting, you must be adequately treated with a similar shorter-term injection for at least 4 months. Invega Hafira is not for elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor if you have uncontrollable muscle movements. These can become if you have a high risk of stiff muscles and confusion. Other risks include increased cholesterol, weight gain, heart rate, and high blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death. These are not
This shit's staggering.
Imagine your head when you leave schizophrenia pills behind.
pretty decent Gobu. Interesting strafe. I don't know which one that's referring to. I don't know which one I did. Also, honestly, I think this one run would be almost too easy if you're allowed to something in phase 1 knock him. I think this run would almost be too easy if you allowed skills. Long time no see, Cinco. Because like if you had like the carp skills, I think this would just be too easy. Thank you. But yeah, I honestly think that if you had the carp skills to make up a lot of the damage, this run wouldn't be as challenging. And no Makiri. Honestly, that is the biggest issue I have with this, is that honestly it might just be Makiri. Like, Makiri is so powerful. It is what it is. Dev, I'm really looking forward to the Immortal Severus no-hit speedrun. I think that's gonna be cool. not used to having to deal with that, so that felt a little weird. Hey, Kirks. Yeah, we got some nice Kekiro.
多く我がにそ時が不死人を不死をこの足
Kirks, how is your run coming along? Yep, sounds like the usual. See, now I'm a little concerned about monkeys because I actually don't know how to deal with the fight if I fuck it up. I didn't know that you weren't allowed to use the bell. That fight was something I was supposed to practice more.
Dishwashing time by 50%. Try Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. It removes 99% of grease and grime in half the time. It cleans so well, you can replace multiple cleaning products. Try Dawn Power Wash.
Why did that cue another? I'm actually really annoyed by that. That it cued another attack there. That's so weird. I didn't think I was pressing my mouse at all. That's probably not close enough. Why am I such a shitter, man? Come on. Also, this one was up on such a good pace. Well, now I don't need to worry about if I fuck up monkeys. I can just use the bell. But then after this run, I need to practice them because I need to get them consistent. I don't think I know it. I don't think I know what you mean. I don't think I know what airstrike is, at least not by name. Is that hitting the third one that's on the center tree? Like where you block your body, block with your body to make him not. Yeah, see, I have that. I think I'm just messing up the timing. So I've been doing this, and then ringing the hall bell to reset the fight. So I need to actually learn how to not have this happen, or learn what I need to do after this. But for the time being, I've just been doing this, so I'll count that as a hit then. Oh, okay, so I could leave green there, but then make purple fall like I did there, and then everything just works. I phrased that poorly, but I think you know what I mean. But if like green stays in the position for the bell to ring. Interesting. Okay, I will have to look at that then. So that means I don't jump up to the top. I fucked this up. Oh no, that worked out. I've been trying to learn more like the more about the pathing of the speed run. Especially stuff that's like how to get out of that window faster and getting to Ishin to talk to him about sake. It's like small things like that it's like there's no point in not learning how to do them faster. But I forgot what you have to do with that window for this. But thanks, Rex. I did not know that. And also, I've been kind of YOLOing this part, getting in position to the bridge. Yep, I assume so. That's something I need to look at as well. Also, I don't understand this. They keep having... Oh, he didn't aggro this time. Normally I have him aggro, and then all of the... You know, the three of them here aggro, and it's a little awkward. And hasn't resulted in anything, but... I just assumed that that's just how this ended up working, but I think I would move too fast? I don't know. Also, I don't know if I actually used the screen. I don't think I used the screen monkey memory. I don't think I did. I think this will kill him. Okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't use the screen monkey memory. I always forget to do that after. Once I get to the Mortal Blade bonfire for some reason. No, I just want to keep. I want to just go. Crooks, how much Sekiro do you consume? Because like for me with DS2, like I barely watch a DS2. Like the only time I'll watch DS2 really is by watching Dolos. But like besides that, I don't really ever watch it. Is that the same for you? Where it's like you only watch Sekiro for kind of a couple, a couple of your friends or your other streamers, but that's about it. You don't really watch like Sekiro videos for fun. That's fair. I'm just doing a couple runs before I have to go to work because I need to. Right now it's 10:15. I need to be ready by about 1:30 to go in. Actually, about 1 o'clock because I want to take a shower. Crooks, how much time do you have in Sekiro? Okay. I was expecting like 3,000 or something. Okay, again, I had a left click Q there. That's weird. Why did... Maybe I'm just like... Maybe I'm just tapping it by accident. I just don't realize. Oh, really? I think that's because of the angle, but I wouldn't have been put in that situation if I didn't get that bad hit off. But that's the first time I've died to the gradient. little precarious. Yeah. Alright, let's go practice monkeys now. Might as well practice the monk starter's bomb. Like that. Oh really? Okay. Because that's really I was able to get it there. Well, now one messed up. Oh really? Okay. So the reason I was doing the grapple was because that's what I was using spirals. Because it did the same exact thing. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna copy exactly what Spiral did for this fight. But I will definitely try that. Okay, if that's just faster, that works for me. Okay, imagine that it is. I can just run up on him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then I think that makes that a lot more consistent. Sick. Wow. I didn't like it because it said killing white. That's incredible. That's actually funny. Okay, now I want to mess up the... I'm just not gonna grapple a second time and see how killing purple goes before green works. But that's actually hilarious that it did not, it auto-modded killing white. That's hilarious. Also, instantly. Oh shit, I want to really go pay attention. So the first one is the one behind us white? So it'd be like that, instantly crouch. Oh, right at the okay. We'll do, so that I'm just not gonna subdue that. If I run under, does that make you go over there? It does. Okay. And then after I kill purple, I could just ring the bell and kill green. So it just like run the exact way it came. Still. Oh, okay. I got you now. I got you. So Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, so he's looking. Interesting. So yeah, he starts looking as soon as you attack. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I butchered that. So wait for you. Does that send you over? It did. So I wonder, can I just grapple here then, and that will make you run? Oh no, I'm supposed to kill you. Oh no, this works. Because I want to send you over, and then you're right up there.
Supposed to move, lead our boys through.
So like this.
No mom ever looks at that beautiful baby laying
So then
in her
I would
arms
kill
and
you.
thinks mental illness.
And I think I probably want to
Did
go
not
to
have a lot
the
of
right, I
symptoms
think,
that we
because
could
how I can
point
get
to
the backstab
before
on
he
him.
received his diagnosis.
Because he should be facing
He
that
told
direction.
us about some bizarre things that were that he thought were taking place in his life.
I thought
You can
make
see-
eye contact, and then they instantly connected with me.
Oh,
There was a
really?
time where I
Okay.
wore sunglasses all over the place because I didn't want to
See, I-
make eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, this is such
Had
good
to
knowledge that I
watch
didn't
him
know.
Spiral down to that awful, awful place. The last time Jason was hospitalized was about 5 years ago. During that
And I think this
visit,
crouching
the
at the start can
doctor
apply to literally
mentioned
all.
that
Well, I guess it
he
doesn't really
might
matter.
benefit from being on this injectable. It really has controlled his symptoms. He is the Jason that we knew and loved, you know, all those years ago. He is, this personality is there.
I think I'm
It was
fucking that
it was
up, but that's
wonderful.
okay.
You know, it just walks, and so if it walks, you might as well just keep going.
I don't know how to even describe when you see the changes begin to happen in your child's life, and you see them begin to recover, and you know that you are going to have your child back again.
I need to stop doing this correctly now. Yes. Of course it is only. Okay. Also, am I fucking up this crouch at the start? Also, am I supposed I should probably be crouching the whole time. Yeah, because now he's gonna get aggroed. Yeah, so. No, he will see. I feel like I was having him aggro when this painting started emerging rather than after, so I feel like I've been messing it up. Alright. Let's do that. Oh wow, that really does work like that. Sick. I don't know what you even need to do to skip. Is that where you clip through the wall? Just gonna hit the leaves. That would be faster because it's on that side. Yeah, I still feel like I'm not doing this crouch correctly. Crouch is good, okay. And just crouching over to the thing matter, or just crouch at the start, kill him, and then I can just do whatever while I wait.
Oh, that's loud.
Come on, Austin! Jump, jump, Hubbard!
Also, I need to get better at that one because I don't get the horizontal slash from the dash. So I need to actually angle myself a little bit to the left of the screen.
Think this might be a good
Okay.
next step for you? Let's find out. Austin! How's it going? Good. How are you? Not too bad. This is a cool spot. Why Minneapolis? Are you from here?
I'm originally from Toronto, Ontario. Moved to Minnesota when I was about 10 years old or so.
Is mindful care here?
Mindful care is not here. It's mostly east of me. While I'm in Minnesota, I work remote.
Wait, are you a therapist?
I'm not. No, I'm not a therapist.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Previous role, digital marketing. I ended up stumbling upon the career certificates program specifically for UX.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, after taking the course, it really kind of helped me validate my ideas about UX design.
Oh, that's the issue with the fast, because now he's gonna go the opposite
Go
way.
ahead and do that and apply for jobs.
Do you find yourself going back to the course?
Mm.
I do. I have some notes. I have some projects that I kind of kept on hand. A lot of my portfolio was actually developed during the course.
So you got your Google Career Certificate. How did that help you get hired?
Yeah, I need to just
Foundation
wait
of
for him to.
knowledge, just through the course that I learned, terminology and process and things like that was really what helped me get hired.
So you say you work remotely?
I do. Yeah, I work from my house. I have a little office space.
Okay.
So that's how you're able to be
Yeah, I've only had me blocking him. I think it's only happened like 2 or 3 times total.
Ah, I'm loving the garden. Can I have an onion? Of course. Oh, good. That's a good breakfast. This is living room. There is a cat. There's a cat? Yeah. We got the kitchen over here. I want to get the ice cold. Onions. Bam. I'll come back to you later. Alright, so what's the next step? I'm not good at meditating. That's okay.
Oh, that means I don't need to grapple to that one. I could just probably just grapple straight to this
Come down
branch.
on the mat here and sit however's comfortable. I typically go crisscross applesauce style. Arms on the legs, usually comfortable for me. From there,
I've never tried that.
trying to zone into, and then from there, just kind of taking a couple deep breaths. So, breathing in, and then out. Oh, my breath does stink. That onion breath is not going away. So,
No.
are we done? How long does this usually? Good question.
Okay.
Usually go for.
Well, I think monkey is fine then. Thank you very much, Crooks. Now to deal with monk real fast. So I wonder if I could
No offense, but that was a really long
like
20 minutes.
cancel this.
Every day. Working from home has benefits. There's always distractions. Yeah. It's a good way to start my day. Alright, so what's next? So, what kind of UX design? I am UX. User experience?
Okay. Yeah, there's something weird going with my left click because I was holding there and it released early.
Experience as a whole. So it's kind of like all-encompassing, and then the UI is more of an emphasis on design, interfaces, screens. When you sit down at the desk, what's the first thing you do? So typically, I will come into work and I will go through messages, just try to check in with my team. I have a couple meetings listed for the day. From there, I'm talking with
Sure
our
hope not,
internal
because
team, stakeholders. So you just
this
talk to
mouse
people
isn't
via email,
that
just video
old.
calls? Yeah, all of my coworkers in Mindful Care, I've never met them in person. Really? Yeah. All of my So Mindful Care is an urgent mental health care company specializing in
Actually need
urgent
to see
therapy,
that.
psychiatry, medication management, things like that. So as a UX UI designer, who are you helping? I really help serve patients, and then internally our clinicians, our patient experience team, marketing. I'm kind of the designer who works.
Oh, is that
to
his
take
hand?
Product ideas.
Yeah.
and
Wait,
turn
hold
them
on.
into solutions. So when you say product, are you talking about like Mindful Care, or like what is the product? When I say product, I mean really software as a service. It's like the website itself. Okay, so how do you help everybody? Like, what do you do on your computer that helps everyone? Figma is a really great UX design tool for designing website screens, app screens.
Why did I do a
interface and
third
things
one?
like that? So I'm able to kind of put stuff out there and work with my team to design stuff. Think of it like a limitless canvas where you can just like place blocks and things like that. And you learned all this from Google Career Certificates? I did. So what other skills do you use besides Figma? When I'm not working directly on the UI aspect, the UX comes into play. So I'm doing, user research. We send out surveys to clients. I typically send out surveys to patients to understand their experiences, and then send some surveys to people for our interns. And once you get the surveys, what do you do with them? I'm able to kind of report that to my team right away, and just kind of sit with that for a bit, so I'm able to recognize kind of a pattern of fall design, something we need to.
Dude, this fight would be so fast if you had the carp skills. 'Cause after every single one of these deflect, you just do extra damage, dude.
Drop downs, or you might have some text here, right? Select one of these options. When you come up with different designs for, screens, different boxes, it can get very complex. So that's why I like to boil down. Just kind of keep it very basic early on, getting some feedback to kind of validate your good ideas and your bad ideas, and then kind of moving forward from there. Okay, so come up with ideas. I think ideas are best done when you're able to collaborate with, many different people. One of the exercises that I like to do is Crazy Eights. Crazy Eights, like the card game? Not like the card game.
Okay,
It's
so
actually,
what is Crazy 8 see?
so Crazy Eights is where you're actually coming up with 8 different ideas in a very rapid succession. So let's say me and you were doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I would have 8 squares, you have 8, we'd have 8 squares, and then I'd say, all right, we got 5 minutes, Aaron, to come up with as many ideas for this as possible. We can take pieces from my ideas, your ideas, and kind of put them together. You can then transfer them from ideas into beginnings of wireframes.
Outside the box.
Solving problems is the first thing.
That was weird.
Something I created. Big words, and you know, we want to make sure that text and things like that is
Big words get to be too sensitive. Overall kind of summary. So first up was process
earlier meditating as kind of an example. Sure. You know, I might ask a couple questions like, how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
my experience, because it looked like you had a way better time, but for me, probably like a 2.
Do you have any ideas that, any ways that you think you could improve it?
I do have. A
Well,
couple
I think
ideas
that
in
we
my
are
head,
now
or if they're brilliant.
So I think that's where we can go in and test them out.
perfectly. My
Let's
bad.
test 'em
I
out.
think we're now
What were kind of some of the issues
prepared
you had with the
for the
meditation?
first half
We're
of the
kinda too
game.
quiet, to be honest.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
too quiet. It's one problem. I was hungry.
Hungry?
Very hungry. Oh, probably an onion breath. What else? What else? What else? My legs were cramping. And honestly, man, 20 minutes is a long time.
Now that we have our problems laid out, we can jump into the Crazy Eights
You know what?
exercise. And
Let's skip Crazy Eights for now. And you just trust me, okay? Disregard any noise you hear, and things will be fine. We need comfort. We need color. We need arrows all over the place. This is safe, right? What's the worst it can happen?
Woo.
Get a little bit of job on the bag. Austin! Whoa.
Also, this game way too hot.
What, my friend? God, look at this. Welcome to the ultimate meditation center. To deal with the smell of someone's onion breath, I lit multiple incense, sage. It was too quiet for me, which is why we have our gong.
I think I need to eventually do
and if you
a
haven't noticed, our awesome yoga mat.
Demon Bell Charmless run of some kind.
yeah, add some cushion.
Also, I was a little hungry earlier,
Oh yeah.
so here you go.
Gotcha.
Boom. And the best part is that your meditation was 20 minutes. This one is only going to be 20 seconds.
That's not
Are you
gonna
ready?
be high enough.
This is
Yeah.
going to be the best meditation you've ever experienced.
I trust you.
Close your eyes. Do you feel relaxed?
Not
Don't
really.
answer that. It's not, yeah. Relax. And scene. You're probably overwhelmed with how calm and meditative you feel right now, right?
You know, there are some things that I could probably do without.
You know what? Hold that thought.
Okay.
This feels like a survey moment.
All right.
How was the smell on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd have to rate it a 1.
That's the lowest you can. Okay, that's fine. Audio levels. How noisy was it?
I give that a 2.
So you wanted it more loud.
No. I prefer it quiet.
Dining
I wonder
experience.
if I did just normal Demon Bell Charmless, and that's the only restriction. But then if I had the carp skills, I
Okay,
wonder
what
how much
about
the carp skills would
entertainment level?
alleviate the
A 10?
debuff of Demon
We
Bell
got a 10, ladies and gentlemen. Foliage.
I'd give it a
on the attacks
3.
that
I
it
did hit my
applies
elbow on
to.
this cactus here.
You know what? Black of television because it's distraction, so I sold it. TV $5, couch $5, cat $5. Now that you point that out, yeah, I do realize there's a TV.
Right. Yeah.
We'll go with
Right.
We'll go with the 1. I kind of like that TV.
Yay, RNG.
Come on. We'll give it a 4. It was quite cushiony, I will say. But again, I think it just, it was distracting. And overall rating, 0.
I get coconut mold every other morning.
Okay, failure is part of the process, and that's why we do these kind of exercises. In fact, I was thinking of an idea of somewhere we can go where we can improve the meditation.
So I actually kind of despise this song.
I would love that.
Is it not RNG about whether
And that was 20 minutes. Really? Really?
it will shoot or not?
We definitely figured out the perfect design for meditation. We came up with the perfect design. Look at you with all the wisdom. Okay, so since you're being all wise, I have one last question for you. What advice would you give anyone who wants to get into
Guy,
the
I don't know what.
design field? I would say for starters,
Yeah.
check
No,
out
yeah,
the
the-
Google Career Certificate program for UX.
Yeah, career
Build
returning.
my portfolio in order to apply for jobs and succeed in those interviews and things like that. It also just gave me fundamentals and basics to kind of build off of and learn from and head full steam into design. Awesome. Aaron, it was a pleasure. We're gonna see you later. I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit. I think I'm gonna go for a swim. His passion for helping people with his career as a UX designer. I mean, for me, I find that really inspiring. It inspires me. Check out the link here to learn more about Google Career Certificates. I've seen one of the many likes here in Minnesota. Now it's time for me to find another hero. You think I scared people?
I am unashamed. What about you?
Back to unashamed. If you're listening, it always sounds
Yeah,
like you're
that's.
just all right there
Thank you.
together, but if you're
That's
watching,
if I can go with anyone.
you can
It's
see
fine.
that I'm in the southern layer today and been down here in a while checking on things. And Zach is with us with a little bit different look and backdrop. Zach, you doing some spring cleaning there? Or?
Remodeling. We are
Remodeling.
remodeling. We're actually remodeling at the house. My place up here is
Are
becoming.
you living in your studio now?
Well,
See,
I'll just say
I don't
that
think I would
I'm
like.
not living here, but
I don't think I
there
would
is,
like
a
UDB.
collection of junk that is rapidly accumulating. So
Like just
Well, I was
UDB,
just
not even
there,
adding everything else. I just don't think I
in
would
the
like
studio with
UDB all
you
that much.
recently.
yeah.
And with a wedding that had just happened, and so everything had been rapidly put in that space, and so what looks so nice right where you are, right around you, is not. It's
yeah.
a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, I've got a lot going on in here. It's very disruptive, so I apologize.
Well, I'm not
In
an
advance.
investigator, but based on what I've seen, when you first came on, you weren't
Also, what the
recording yet.
fuck was that?
You had a big bunch of clothes that looked like they needed to be washed, and it looked like they were. Your camera shot is now sideways. I'm
Is it off?
thinking they're, well, you at the same bookshelf that you're at.
Oh yeah.
I'm beginning to think there's been some disruptions at home.
It seems like it's.
He had one that was married with the clothes.
Wash the clothes. And
Yeah,
do
what,
the-
dude? What's this weird ass ogre I'm getting? I'm not getting the normal opener. Dude.
Basically, Chase, I'm here to cry for help.
Oh, I admit it. I wish you guys would come up here and help wash clothes and do yard work.
This should
I just
stagger
haven't had
in
the
like one or
courage
two
to ask you that
minutes.
because I feel like that would be a request.
I think you need to just walk into the main family meeting, and just start there.
Yeah, that's good. That is good advice.
Yeah, but he can't do that now, Jace, because he's the boy who cried wolf. He found out he had a fatty liver.
Never seen
He
that
called them
before.
all together, and man, everybody was depressed for 3 days. They thought he was dying. It was just, you just need to lose a little weight.
I think someone has said in the past that a situation becomes a crisis when cattle or women stampede. I think that's what he's faced with.
It might be. It
I'm not sure what that means. Cattle around here,
At least Dad now says somebody. He quit attributing it to William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So Jace, I know you got a guest there that's observing today. Tell us about who that is.
At Mia's last surgery, kind of go from one building to the next. Hospital. And I mean, I think you probably see a lot of people come through there that are like, which door do we go to? Where do we go to next? And he brought us a couple cups of coffee and made us feel very comfortable during trying times. So we kind of got to be friends. He was passing through. He was like, let's go eat breakfast. I said, how about come and hang out at the podcast? And, so, because it's duck season. So we duck hunt. We have a studio.
Well, he's probably already had quite the observation watching this.
That was almost too many.
So, did y'all hunt today? Is it?
Oh, we did. So I got sick, and so I didn't think.
And stuff. Nice.
My wife just got back from visiting the grandkids, so I didn't go yesterday. But the day before, we shot one woodcock, two snipe in the world fight. On the only land within hundreds of yards. And I said, is night season open? I looked, yeah. And they're way better eating. I went over, stalked, and shot the two snipe. I felt pretty proud. But,
Can you not do this right now?
That doesn't want you to wake up the next morning at 4. So I didn't go, and guess what happened? A hammer. It was Phil, Larry, Curly, and they hammered. Now, Phil, if you want to disagree with me, disagree. There's no telling what happened because they were sending me texts. It's what woke me up yesterday.
Can you define the Three Stooges? Can you tell me? I mean, I'm curious who has been.
You want to give the Three Stooges?
Well, they came together pretty quickly into a team to get these ducks because we hadn't seen many ducks. So actually, they just kind of swarmed the whole
I mean, this is
thing.
probably gonna be like.
There was guys, Jersey Joe was one of them.
Jersey Joe was
Okay.
one.
Jersey Joe
Burley was the other. Let me identify him.
It's
And
basically
the
gonna be
other,
like the exact
Phil
same
said today,
time.
I was one of them boys that married one of you boys' daughter. I was like, well, Phil's
one
part
of
of
your
your family
grandsons.
too. But then he did say, so we won't embarrass him. He said, Christian.
Well, we started out with 4 sons, and a long lost daughter came along, so that made 5. And it was amazing as you look up, and it's like about that long, and
With people everywhere.
you have 50 people.
Yeah.
So they came out of those bears, you got one bear in this day, and now you're amazed at how many, 50 to
Oh, that's not
55 somewhere along
Yes,
in there.
it's closer to 6.
So it was Sadie's husband, but he's only hunted. That is
Yeah, he's
And,
brand new.
so you had Burley, he lives in Colorado.
He's got a house though. Did he build a house right
He
there?
has a house here, but it's not. It's like your house.
That's it. Not a cell phone where you can see a person's butt if they want to show you. I don't want to look at that. I want it clean, nice, and just get your business. What do you want? Okay, I'll try to help out. And it just doesn't fit anymore.
Now, Phil, you're right. I'm glad.
Why did
That's
it
the one thing I'm glad
auto
you're still
split
graphic
twice?
on is what's happening on the internet. Because you're right. You don't even have to go pursue that, and it's out there.
Yep.
5 seconds.
Did
You're
I?
looking at
Yeah, so
someone.
that
I
was an
subconsciously
interesting
split?
blindfold. You're right. I mean, their expertise skills, but they came together. The
That's right.
team came together and pulled it off,
Oh,
which is
shit.
pretty
Okay.
impressive, Dad. You were just saying a
Well,
week
this is the
ago,
end of the run.
I'm not who I once was, but it sounds like to me you pulled it together and took over and became the alpha dog yet again.
I was actually first. I thought they were kidding. I thought they were pranking me.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "Boy, because I was getting different numbers from all of them in the blind who had a cell phone. I was like, well, how many do you have? You know, it was like 8. And then Burley said 8. Jersey Joe said 12. And Christian was like, I think we have too many. So I was like, you're sitting beside each other. Have a conference. But then Burley finally sent a picture, which what was fascinating about it is he took the picture and there was a big pile of ducks, but I saw all my stuff in the picture. You have my flashlight, my gloves, and my jacket.
That's why
I
I
was
did so
like,
good.
go ahead and use my stuff while you're at it, which I couldn't find my light this morning. I was like, what are these people doing? So they killed a limit of ducks. Now, I asked them how many shells they shot, and they all just kind of busted out laughing. So, but tell about Jersey Joe, and we'll move on. Shooting his first duck.
The mallard drake was locked up coming down. A beautiful duck, and it was on the end of the blind.
He was on my end of the blind.
Station.
The sacred place down there.
Using your stuff.
Took your place. And shoot him.
Well, you said to shoot him because Christian, this was funny. Phil told me the detail. So Christian is out in the decoy. Why was he out in the decoys?
He was leaving.
Oh, so he's ready to go.
He had his limit, and he was walking away.
Okay.
And look up the duck. Here comes the duck.
So here comes another. Phil says, "Stay still." Did you even remember his name, or did you just say, "Hey"?
Sadie's man.
Sadie's man.
Sadie's man, stand still. So then you told Jersey, because he's on the other side of the blind, so the safe for him to shoot. He said shooting,
And he's the only one that shot. So for the first time in his life.
Then he missed the first shot, right? But
missed the first shot. He bounced back quickly, and he shot the duck. And I said, Jersey, you had your first unadulterated kill. You got your mallard duck there, and he was in the air, wasn't sitting on the water. I said, good job. So that was his first duck he had ever shot by himself that he knew he got. Instead of boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. And what was his response?
He was speechless. He said, it's the greatest thing that I've ever done.
Phil told me this morning, he said he finally got one that he knows he got. 'Cause up until this time, he was playing the rolling side. Shoot in a bunch and say, I got 2. He had 2. And Phil said he finally shot one on his own. He said, and he was speechless at first. He said, he never stopped talking about it the rest of the morning.
The greatest moment he said I've ever spent.
So I got to give him some counseling. I have to tell him he has to wait 3 days, not 3 minutes before you go. Hey, remember that time a mouse came on my side and I moved up? It's a 3-day waiting period, not a 3-day time.
I now know why Acts chapter 10 spells out the situation where God said, in the giant movie screen, he was giving the Apostle Peter a little instruction. He said, 4-footed animals, birds in the air, you kill them and eat them. Kill and eat. And Peter said, not I, Lord, not I. He said, do not call something unclean that I've sanctioned. I've made it clean. You can hunt and kill birds and animals and eat them. I was good that that's in the Bible. It's
Yeah. It's how do you call it, Dad? Orders from headquarters.
Orders from headquarters.
We're excited that Hillsdale College is one of our sponsors of our podcast. And Jace, you have any college experiences that you'd like to share?
I took 2 classes. I think they were health and something and golf. And I did not pass either one. And that was my college experience. But I'll tell you this, if I could have done it online, Al, who knows where I could be educationally today.
You just needed to be 20 years in the future in today's time, and Hillsdale College could have definitely helped you. Good news is they still can, Jace, because they offer courses, history, economics, works of literature, the U.S. Constitution, all these things that you can still take online, and they're offering some for free. They have 40 free online courses, and they've got great stuff that is interesting to our audience, because you got like the works of C.S. Lewis, Genesis, U.S. Constitution, Rise and Fall of the Roman Republic. All these are fantastic. So we definitely recommend you think about doing ancient Christianity, 11 lecture course. A lot of inspiring stories about Christ and the apostles. So it's a lot to learn. You get to set
I don't know
that
why I
pace
was
and you'll love it.
being so
Go to
particular about when doing that back then. I'm gonna use
hillsdale.edu/unashamed to
Restream.
enroll. There's no cost, and it's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/unashamed to register. hillsdale.edu/unashamed. So, Jason, I got breaking news. Give us our breaking news song. There we go. Breaking news. I'm down here now. I actually have 2, but the first one is I'm down here in Alabama today, and it is a day of mourning for all of my neighbors because the great Nick Saban has retired from the University of Alabama. So everybody here is super sad, but I got up feeling so happy today because Alabama now has to find
LSU might win every once in a while now.
That's exactly right. But no,
it don't matter who you root for in college football. This is, unless you're an Alabama fan, this is good for all of us.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're not Job's friends. We're not celebrating demise, but we'll see what happens with Alabama. I'm sure they're going to land on their feet. But I will say this, because a lot of LSU fans, have more of a hate than love relationship for Saban. But I'm saying he's the best ever.
I'm telling you.
I mean, 7 national championships.
He
6.
was a great coach.
And he turned our whole program around to LSU. So I have a lot of respect for the guy. So I hope he does well. I don't know anything about him personally. I know we have a lot of Alabama fans who are listeners. I know you guys are sad. So we're not dancing on you today, but we are eagerly anticipating. But I did notice in my neighborhood, there's a pall, there's a sadness here because everybody loves Saban. So, all right, I got one more breaking news, Jace. Hit the button.
Boy, you're full of it today.
All right, I tell you, I'm right here. So we have more breaking news. Dad, your new book, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Why Jesus is Your Greatest Hope on Earth and in Eternity is now available for pre-order. So we're super excited about that.
Are y'all really naming the book that? I thought you were kidding.
I just threw it out there for the book people, and I said, here's what it comes down to. I could be wrong. You can research it.
So I gave you that part.
I doubt it.
That you came up with the second.
I saw that on the front of your shirt. I said, what you need to do is put on the back of it. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I doubt it is on the background as you're going away. So.
And that's a very strong doubt. Like, right? That's not what. There's no.
I mean, it's 2024. We're all counting time by Jesus Christ. I would think if someone made that slot where the world counts time by him, it's amazing to me that he is not at least investigated by everybody.
Yeah.
And that was really the discussion,
a little snacky
obviously, that led to the book. And so, while a book is an interesting process because you're kind of working through it. And
we give
Dad,
the evidence. We give the evidence. We could be wrong, but I doubt it.
So, Dad, you started out just simply by asking the question, why not Jesus? What's wrong with Jesus? Remember, that's how it started. We were sort of calling it the Jesus resume for a while. But then there are a lot of books called that, but nobody has one called, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Although I did find one, Jason, some guy wrote a book that said, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. So a guy did have that one. So but we actually have a website, and guess what it's called? I could be wrong, but I doubt it.com. And so you can go there. You can actually get the first chapter of the book. If you go there and subscribe and order you a copy of the book. And we've said this before, the book releases March the 12th, by the way.
I don't think so.
But when you pre-order a book, bookstores decide how many books they're going to put in their store based on how many pre-orders there are. So you really help us get more opportunity to sell books if you pre-order. So this is for you, Unashamed Nation. This is I guess sort of the crowning book of this 4-book series that Dad has done. It started out with Theft of America's Soul, Jesus Politics, Uncanceled, and now I could be wrong, but I doubt it. And the whole thing is kind of just laid out the situation that Jesus ultimately is the answer. I think, Jason, we studied Hebrews, this book idea for Dad in his mind, because, you know, we started talking about why Jesus is the best and the answer for everything. I mean, it really is the ultimate, you know, solution for everything. And so I think that's the heart of what that talks about the book. So check it out, pre-order. We'd love to get those numbers up so we can get a lot going on. So that's my breaking news. Anybody else got breaking news?
Are you still here, Cinco?
No, the last speech I gave at Mighty Oaks, I did my points were why Jesus is better. And I had like 6 or 7 things that started with I. He's imperishable, he's immortal, he's indestructible, he's innocent, he invites everyone. That was 5 off the top of my head.
And all he wants is for us to love him and love him. Oh yeah! Duh. Nothing we need a little of that.
That should be your sequel.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
And then have your...
Yeah, have the points after
He'll
that.
remove all your sin and raise you from the dead.
I like
I'm
that.
like, that's
I like it. Well, Jason, I want you to hang on to that presentation you did, because we're gonna preach through Hebrews at some point this year at our church. I want you to give that lesson at some point. That'd be a good one. I know it. It's gonna be fantastic. But you know, on Unashamed, we're still in the book of Luke, and we finally got through a long section recently in chapters 19, 20, and 21. In the last
temple, you need a better name. The temple.
Why did I do that?
Theology. Because he was hanging out at the temple.
Yeah, he was teaching there.
He was teaching.
I called it holding court, the king holds court, but yeah, it could have been, I like something with teachings, because he was laying out really what was about to happen, but he was also doing this back and forth battle, because they're trying to figure out what to do with it. And we didn't mention this at the time, but you know, one of the things about the timing of what's going on historically is they're getting ready for the Passover. But you know, every year, even now, the Passover is when Jerusalem is overflowing with people. And so that's been true for as long as it's been Judaism. So there are a lot of people around. And that's part of the issue by his enemies, is because they're afraid of these large crowds, because the worst thing that could happen in their minds is that a riot breaks out. And then they got to deal with it. So they're trying to now figure out Jesus's demise without it turning into a riot. So that's kind of the backdrop and the setting when you get to the end of chapter 21. And so, interestingly enough, our last section that we did was Jesus laying out the ultimate demise of Jerusalem itself, along with the temple. And we spent quite a bit of time talking about that. And this really is, I think, what turned the corner, Jace, probably to the enemies, is because when he came out this strong against the temple, which is the core of everything that they did, that was like the final straw. It was like, okay, he's got to go. I mean, we got to figure out how to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, that was always a way to get yourself killed. You know, I mean, he wasn't the first. Well, he was the first one, but he wasn't the last one. And I was even when Bill was talking about Acts 10, kind of tongue in cheek about killing doves. When you think about what that's actually talking about is exactly what Jesus was talking about with this building this temple where Jews and Gentiles, where all nations would come in. So when when the sheet comes down and you have all the different animals. I mean, it's not really about the animals. I mean, it's really what it's really about is the inclusion of the Gentiles and Catholics. We have to have more evidence that hey, maybe the Gentiles are being called into this kingdom, and don't call anything unclean that I've called clean. And I've called these people. I'm drawing all men to myself. So that's the picture. So you can see why if you're a system that denied the Gentiles were dogs, and then someone comes along and they're actually brothers, they're coming in. That's very provocative. And that's a very provocative thing that Jesus is doing.
Well, weren't these people? I had a thought last night when I was studying this. Because I thought this was the time of the Passover. Of all the things he could have chosen, he chose that. Even when we get to his Last Supper, because they're having the Passover meal, and it kind of hits you of like, well, where's the lamb? Because he had the unleavened bread and wine. Where's the lamb? This is right before he's arrested. And it kind of hit me that, all those passages we read where he goes out to the robbers and the temples and he scattered all the animals. It kind of hit me that didn't all these people lambs to the temple to have them sacrificed? And now, if you have no temple, you have no sacrifices. So it goes along with him being the lamb.
Yeah.
To be sacrificed once and for all for the sins. I mean, it was just kind of a moment that I thought, I think that's why he chose the Passover, which we'll get in depth when we get to the next.
Yo.
We're super excited about a brand new sponsor. It's called 5-Star Football Package. Now, Dad, when I saw these guys were signing on, I couldn't help but think about a story that you tell about you guys playing football.
A sock stuffed tightly with other socks. You couldn't get a spiral on it very well, but it was what we called a football because that's all we had, poor snakes. But we looked up one day and a fancy little car comes up. The guy unrolls a windshield down, throws a regulation football out on the ground. It bounced about twice. And we looked at it, and we looked up, and the guy took off. He didn't say a word. He just threw it out the window, and we watched him till he left, and we all gathered around that ball. I said, "It's now begun." Amazingly, I played quarterback the rest of my junior high school, and college.
Well, so somebody obviously knew you had some skills, and that's what these guys do. What they do is they find a way to help create football players. This package for a 5-star football package is designed to help unlock your son's full football potential. It consists of online training programs that are tailored for high school and youth football players. They have 7 programs, teaches all the latest research, position-specific techniques to help your son become a great football player. It's got gym workout plans, field workout plans, specific drills, speed, a change of direction. So it's a lot of great stuff. And it's also founded on Christian values, which we love that as well. So if you're ready to invest in your son's football career and potentially save hundreds of thousands with scholarship money, head over to 5starfootballpackage.com. That's 5 as in the number 5, starfootballpackage.com. Join thousands of other young players pursuing their dreams today and use the code PHIL for 20% off all position packages. When I was doing research as well, I was reading about Josephus and some of his writings. Because there was so many people coming to the temple, and so they were talking about trying to do a census. And so Nero, this is years later when Nero was the emperor. This is after Jesus' death. But the governor of Palestine area there, he had ordered a census to see how many lambs were slaughtered on one particular year in Jerusalem. And Josephus records that 256,500 lambs were slaughtered that one year. And they counted them. And it's all done in the temple. And the minimum people that would celebrate a Passover meal were at least 10. That was in the law. So they factored in, therefore, there was over 2.5 million people. Now, these are people coming. They're not just living there in Jerusalem. They're coming from all over. But think about that. 250,000 plus lambs being slaughtered. And this is after Jesus had died when they did the census. And it was all for naught because the lamb had already, the one Passover lamb had already given his life. And that shows you, though, this idea of the need for the temple to end and the way the process had been going was so strong, like Jesus predicted, it couldn't happen not long after the census was taken. Because we didn't need that anymore. You know, the land had been given on that night, the last Passover supper. And it's just, I found that fascinating. One, that there were so many people there, and two, of all the death that really didn't have to happen if you just put your trust in Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult to read when you go back to the history of the last one is firstborn representative of the descendants of the family, which seems for us now it's like but in their culture, you know, if they're going to have a god, it was something that they thought, okay, you know, there has to be a sacrifice for sin. So instead of having your firstborn, if you sacrifice a lamb and put the blood on the doorpost, that wouldn't take away your sin, but it would be payment for the sins of your family, which goes back to the history of this, which I'm sure we'll have to get in depth in that when we get to the Passover meal, but that's really was the shadow, his relationship with Israel and that custom, having a temple where God and humans meet and having sacrifices as payment for sins, you know, of lambs, which it could be worse because what if it was your firstborn? I mean, those who trusted him, they started putting the blood of the lamb on the doorposts. So
that's good.
It makes people feel uncomfortable. It's another reason where if you start reading the Bible at the beginning, it's really hard to keep going because you don't understand their culture, and that seems crazy. So it's like, I always tell people, they're like, well, how? I'm having a conversation with a guy who's driving over to seminary to be baptized, but I'm like, start in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and go from there. He's like, you would always try to miss Jesus, and you miss it.
Now, you make a great point, because if you start with the good news of Jesus and you go back and see what happened, it definitely helps you understand it so much better. All those things are pointing to him. When he said that, those are fulfilled to me, all law, all prophecy, everything. And so in the modern day, when we have the Word of God, it's definitely best to do it that way. Go back, then see where it comes forward, and then you see what the apostle said afterwards as well. But Jason, I think even this little section that we're going to start in today, in 22, 1 through 6, in Luke, is even, I think Luke is setting it up even to talk about that Passover, because, and I hadn't really thought about that until this particular time, because if you think about it, the plans of God have always been attempted to be thwarted by the evil one. And that's what we're going to see with this bringing up Judas, I think, at this point that Luke brings him up. And I thought about it, even when you go back to the Egypt and when the Passover happened and the people of God were going to be let out of Egypt, you know, the evil one then was prompting Pharaoh. And here was Moses trying to convince him with all these miracles and, you know, look, you gotta listen to God. You gotta do what God says. But he continued to just this back and forth. And so when I thought about it in this context, I thought, man, Luke does a great job of bringing up Judas here, because here was a guy who Satan manipulated and he followed him. And then the enemies of Christ were being led by Satan to try to kill him. Of course, what Satan didn't know is he came there to give his life. You know, he doesn't understand what's going on.
Neither did his apostles understand it.
That's right.
Jesus took the 12 aside and told them, we're going up to Jerusalem, and everything that is written by the prophets about the Son of Man will be fulfilled.
Yeah.
He will be handed over to the Gentiles. He was. They will mock him. They did. Insult him. They did. Spit on him. They did. Flog him and kill him. And they did that. On the third day, though, he will rise again. The disciples did not understand any of this. They've been with him 3 years, Al. Its meaning was hidden from them, and they did not know what he was talking about. That would be fun. That's Luke 18 leads us to what we really are. Well, I'm pretty amazed now.
Oh, yeah.
I think it also, you know, when you read this stuff, and you look up things about him, it's one of the profound mysteries of the Bible.
Oh,
And most of the questions are asked, why did
I was
Jesus
positive
choose him?
that was gonna break his
He knew
posture.
That he was going to
That those
betray.
who the fuck were gonna do it.
And I think what's missing in all that debate, because I know all those questions are going to come to people's minds as we go through Judas, which it is a valid question. I think what comes to mind here is that evil in our world is way more mysterious and way more difficult to wrap your head around on how it works. It's always like lurking, it's deceiving. You read all the passages about this, and I think you really see a picture of that here, because how could you be this close to the Son of God the whole time and be a million miles away in your heart? So I think as we go through this, you'll have to keep that in mind when you try to just make blanket statement questions. Because when you think of this, God created everything good. It was good and very good. And then all of a sudden, people chose evil. And it started a snowball effect, and you have all these powers, and you read all these powers and principalities and dark powers, you know, in Ephesians 6, it kind of goes through a list there. And there's no doubt there's evil in the world. And it was so close to Jesus here that makes it scary. You see a guy, you know, in church, and then all of a sudden he does something that's just, you can't wrap your head around. You're like, the whole time he was sitting in this church, well, it could be worse. This is one of Jesus' chosen 12 to start. Of Luke. Now the feast of unleavened bread, called the Passover, was approaching, which is why we kind of started there, and we'll get into that in more detail in the next section. And the chief priests and the teachers of the law were looking for some way to get rid of Jesus. Well, he's become a threat to them. So they were afraid of the people. Then Satan entered Judas, called Iscariot, one of the 12, and Judas went to the chief priests, the officers of the guard, and discussed with them how he might betray him. They were delighted when the Jews given him. He consented and watched for an opportunity to hand Jesus over to them. No crowd was present. And then if you skip ahead, then he does the Last Supper, Passover meal, which is what I referred to. We have the unleavened bread and wine. There's no this announcement about being betrayed in that supper?
That's in verse 20, isn't it? Yeah, verse 21 is when
All right, so in verse 20 it says, in the same way, after the supper, he took the cup, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you, representing the Lamb. By the hand of him who is going to betray me is with mine on the table. The Son of Man will go as it has been decreed, but woe to that man who betrays him. And then this is really fascinating. Then they began to question among themselves which of them it might be who would do this.
Which is, I found fascinating, Jace, because they didn't immediately think of Judas. They all were looking at each other like anybody was capable, which I find that fascinating as well.
So then we'll read the rest of it in other accounts. But in 47, it says, while he was still speaking, the crowd came up, and the man who was called Judas, one of the 12, he approached Jesus to kiss him. Jesus asked him, Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss? Jesus' followers saw what was going to happen. They said, Lord, should we strike with our swords? And one of them struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. And we know from Matthew's account.
Really?
Yeah, this. Yeah.
Jesus answered, no more of this, and he touched the man's ear and healed him. Then Jesus said to the priest, he offered to them to come to him, or else he would come to them. My Lord, every day I was with you in the temple court, you did not lay a hand on me. Here's another reference to this in darkness.
And you know what's interesting is, Jace, if you look at it, and I like the way you painted the picture about how Satan is working, these people have decided that this is a threat to them, or to all of them. So they want to get rid of it, but they can't do it publicly because there's too many people that are following their level. And so they come up with this thing, we somehow got to do it when there's no people around. And the only way they could really get that done was somehow through the inside. Then Judas approaches them and says, I'll help you out because I know where they'll be when there's not people around, right? So you see this plan as it sort of unfolds, but it hit me, this particular study, that not only that, but they had their mind made up that Jesus was a fraud. I mean, they didn't believe he was who he said he was. And so by one of the 12 and say, I'll help you take him down, I think Satan used this whole scenario to just make them feel stronger about the fact that he really wasn't who he said he was. In other words, why would one of his own followers be willing to turn him over to us if he was really the Son of God? And so I never thought about that before until this particular time I looked at it, and I thought Satan used what they already had in their minds to then convince them even more by Judas approaching them with this plan to be able to take care of Jesus. So, you know, once you make your mind up that you're going to follow the evil one and follow a plan that's not of God, then everything that happens will then fit into your narrative to prove in your own mind that you're doing the right thing. Because, I mean, they were convinced they were doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think it's the term I've heard used is called confirmation bias, where you basically seek out information to validate what you want to be true.
Yeah.
So when he came to them, I'm sure they welcomed it without any skepticism whatsoever.
Right.
They wanted it to be. They wanted it to be a fraud because if he wasn't, they would completely change their entire structure, their whole power system. Everything's going to change. So I'm sure they welcome Judas in with open arms, and yeah, Satan uses that, and he does. I think he does with us too, right? I mean, he uses us for jealousy and weaknesses, and you know, we have jealousy for someone, and we want to believe the worst about them.
Sin is more complicated. You know, when you're worshiping anything other than God,
when
This
I
is
did
an
the
awful game.
prison ministry for a couple of years, I was amazed that when they would talk, they would all champion the fact that they would literally they've been with a woman. Sacrifice. I'm like, there's a woman out here. You know, the one thing that you don't have the opportunity to do, you're saying, well, look at what I'm having to give up. And what's amazing is most of the guys who would get out during the time I was out there, well, I never saw them again. You know, we'd have a meeting place, because they would be like, I'm going to give my life right, I'm giving my life to the Lord. As soon as I get out, I'll meet you at the church parking lot. And most never showed. It was amazing once they got back out where the opportunities were, the desires of their heart was then. Here we go again. But I thought about that when I think that's how, you know, sin happens to us. So you read the passage in James 1 that says God doesn't tempt anyone. What is it? Let me read that.
Each one is tempted by his own evil desire.
His own evil desire, he is dragged away and enticed. Verse 13, James 1:13. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone, but each one is tempted when by his own evil desire he is dragged away and enticed. And you see this process then after desire is conceived, gives birth to sin. Sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. And so really this was a kiss of death. Not for Jesus, because his death actually changed the destruction of sin itself. Death itself. When you read Matthew's account, this is Matthew 7, early in the morning, people came, bound him, handed him, led him away, handed him over to the governor. Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, seized with remorse, returned the 30 silver coins. And the other said, what? But it's not repentance, because it says, I have sinned. Watch what happens. What is that to us, God? That's your responsibility. So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priest picked up the coins and said, it is against the law to put this into the treasury, since it is blood money. So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the field of blood to this day. And then when you read Acts, Luke's account in Acts, he brings the same principle up, which is very graphic.
Yeah, it's Acts 1:18. He says he bought a field, and he said when he fell headlong, meaning when he hanged himself, his body burst open and all his intestines spilled out. Everyone in Jerusalem heard about this, so they called that field in their language Akodama. That means field of blood.
Well, and really, you know, I had a thought last night when I was studying that, because it's so graphic, it's scary, and it makes you realize how deceitful our own desires are, and how the evil, dark powers work against us. And all of a sudden an opportunity comes up, and then you show what seems like remorse, and you say you've sinned, and you still respond selfishly to this. Because when you think about all those passages about Jesus saying, bring your cross, you want to follow me, bring your cross. And even what we do as far as surrendering to Christ as a form, and even baptism, having sick goes through that. We die to sin. We're surrendering. But when you do it selfishly, you have what happens here. And it made me think about what happened in the garden. Because you think about how sin really happened. You had the evil one just subtly
giving you ideas about did God really say, and coming up with a narrative that was contrary to God. And then really you think, what led to the sin? Their focus on having the knowledge of good and evil, kind of the morality aspect, led to a bad decision. It led to peer pressure. Then it led to blame shifting. And you saw how that's basically how things were separated from God. And here you kind of see the same thing. He's acknowledging morality. And it's almost like, just like in the garden, they didn't realize the relationship with God. Trusting God not to do something. That was the number one thing. They were focused on, well, why can't I partake in this? Instead of, I'm going to trust you. Same thing.
Yeah, and I think it becomes such a question about hearts because, I mean, really, if you think about it, this instance of when he kisses him and then, basically says, leads him to him when there's nobody around. Peter responds with, as you read, with this, violent reaction because Peter's ready to die in that moment, for what they're going to be doing. But when Jesus heals the guy's ear, he's crushed too, and it leads to later that night him betraying Jesus as well by saying he doesn't even know who he is. So it's really interesting. You sort of see this cascade effect that's happening now because they had this narrative of what it was supposed to be like. And I think, which we're almost out of time in the overtime, I want to talk about Judas's character leading up to this moment versus Peter's, because Peter, up until this point, I mean, he's like any man, he's volatile, but he, in his character, he's wanting to do the right thing by Jesus. Judas did not. In his heart and character, something was flawed and something was wrong. And so I think that's why you see the two choices. They both understood they did wrong, but one goes out and hangs himself in a field, and the other one, of course, becomes the guy who unlocks the keys to the kingdom of heaven and preaches the first gospel sermon. So it's such a picture.
That's a big difference too. I mean, you look at Jason's point too. Look at Judas. Here's the thing about sin, and that kind of sin. Now he never repented, but he wasn't even able to enjoy the promise that he thought he would get from the sin. So
yeah.
He threw the money back, and it's kind of the same thing that happened with Adam and Eve. I love that parallel that you brought out, Jace. Go back and read Genesis account of the fall. Before the fall, it says that the Adam and Eve were naked. It didn't say they knew they were naked. It says they were naked and they were unashamed. It just says they were naked and they were unashamed. Then when they get into the temptation with Satan, the promise is if you eat this, you'll have the knowledge of good and evil. And as soon as they ate it, this is what the scripture says. The eyes of both of them were open and they knew that they were naked. And so they did get knowledge. I mean, so Satan was partially telling the truth. It wasn't the full truth, but the reward that they thought they were going to get from not believing in God was actually hell. It wasn't a pleasure or it was never what it was promised to be. And that is always the nature with sin, that it never ever delivers on its promise, ever. And the nature of putting your faith in God is that faith, God never tells a lie. And so it always delivers on its promise for human flourishing, fulfillment, and peace of mind.
Yeah, if you could do it, and we're out of time, but if you could do a tagline, Zach, for Satan, it would be, he always over-promises and always under-delivers. Because that happens in anybody's life. So we're out of time. We'll talk more about this in our overtime segment. If you want to follow us over and hear more about Judas and his lack of character, you can do that on blazetv.com.
Thanks for listening to Unashamed Podcast. Help us out by rating us on iTunes. And don't miss an episode by subscribing on YouTube. And be sure to click that little bell to get notified about new episodes. For even more content that you know anywhere else, subscribe to Blaze TV at blazetv.com/unashamed.
そこの5時
hell? Why does this keep happening? How do I not have enough time for that deflect? Really? How do I not have time for that deflect? Okay, thank you, Fetcher. Armored Warrior has killed a weird, basically has killed everyone that's gotten to him. It's been very strange, because Armored Warrior is one of my most, I would say, is one of my most consistent fights in this game. Except for this run, for some reason. How is the S-Dock All Remembrances coming along, Fetcher? Because you're at what, like PB 20 or 30 or something like that? Oh, okay. Okay. What made you want to do all remembrances, not like all great runes? Understandable. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm waiting for there. I just free ball. Yeah, I definitely agree with Croaks. That's going to end the run that makes it.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form and mail it back right away.
So what's
you don't
the
lose your coverage.
what are the challenges on all remembrances?
Visit healthcare.gov
Because the obvious
to see if
thing
you're
that everyone
eligible
thinks
to
of is
enroll in a
Melania.
low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered.
Basically,
Paid for
is
by the US
Moog an
Department of Health and
issue?
Human Services.
Is it? I know a lot of people have an issue with what's the dragon? It's the other remembrance that's not Placidusax. Lanisax? No, I think that's just a normal dragon. I forget what it's called. Fortisec, that's right. Yep. Really? Jake, get the fuck up there. God damn. I lost 20. Petra, I'm so bad. I failed the ogre backstab and then it made me sad. It's like I lost 20 seconds on everything because I suck. Also, like the two Japanese songs I have on my playlist put back to back. Interesting. Are you talking about the one where you jump to the ledge on the right? Ooh, I haven't had to deal with that in a long time. Damn, I'm surprised I remembered how to deflect that. No, I don't. I kill the two guys, run away, and then wait for Ogre to come out. I just messed up I just messed it up, and then I'm just like, beret. Is it worth learning to do the fast ogre kill then? Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh my god. There's literally no way. Literally, Sekiro, move forward. Look, how are you not moving on this jump up here? Oh my fucking god. How? You're... What did I do to deserve that? I am actually appalled. Okay. Okay, elevation matters a lot more than I expected. it up. God fucking damn. I thought I need to do one more thrust attack. And then I need to do one more. God fucking damn it, dude. Yeah, let's try that. God damn it, man. And what happened there is I was supposed to do one more thrust attack, and then that would have done enough damage to where after he blocked, I could have just hit once and would have killed him. But I didn't. I looked at the health bar. I'm like, that's too much just for a slash. So then I just didn't attack and just threw everything off. I need to bring him down here to test it. Because I wouldn't have thought about Fletcher. I wouldn't have thought about dashing. But this seemingly does work. Also, oh, again, my mouse just. Maybe I'm just not noticing that I'm left clicking again, but I don't feel like I have PB4. I have 2 PB4s actually. And the first. Actually, both PB4s are actually technically PB5s because I didn't know that you weren't allowed to use the hull bell or whatever it is on screen monkeys to reset the mode. Okay, and I dashed too fast there. I need to do that. Okay, I know what I need to do. I need to open up the practice tool. Oh really? That's how most people do it? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I remember watching Dev do it a long time ago, and he did it without dashing, so I just assumed that's what you did. Down here, buddy. Come over. So you did not. So I think this might actually be something that's a lot easier on... Again, I'm not holding down mouse 1, it's just doing it anyway. Which is actually really irritating. I need to just develop the timing for it. The thing is, what I'm afraid of is I don't think I'm far enough behind him to consistently have him deflect the second. Because that's the but that's the attack I'm afraid of, that I'm not behind enough. Yeah, like, mouse, what are you doing? It's just doing extra mouse 1 inputs. I do not appreciate my hardware fighting against me. That's really not good, actually. Okay. That actually sucks a lot that my mouse is doing that. Yeah, mouse, what the fuck are you doing? Okay. I don't think I can get replacement switches for my mouse. I should probably look it up just in case. Okay. So this does not have hot swappable switches. It's a little irritating, to be honest. Okay. Maybe with this, maybe this just needs a good cleaning. So I should look at that teardown video. Well, here's the thing is that I do not trust doing runs if at random it's just gonna do extra attacks that will throw off, you know, my rhythm. So we're actually probably just gonna stop right now. And it looks like we're gonna I guess we're just gonna read dev.